Dear sir, have you seen my mind? For I just can't seem to find and make reality today. Yes, today. No, how the day seems to fade. No, I'm getting somewhere in the rain, in the rain, yeah. Sweet girl, I choose you to write my biography.
Hola and welcome to Califas Arte y Amor. Tonight we have a special treat for you. We have an artist chat of Dia de Los Muertos and the eyes to the artist. And we have three wonderful, plus me, wonderful artists for for tonight. So we'd like to welcome you and welcome everybody here. We're beaming here for the Latino Center of the Arts page and also on my page and a YouTube channel. So we are streaming to 3 streams in one shot. So let me bring up the artists because there are such wonderful people. We want to get to it. And please ask questions. Ask us questions about anything we want. This is going to be more about art and how we see Dia de los Muertos rather than traditional stuff, because there's a lot of traditions that are different from each state and each city and each town. So yes, we will show you what we have for you. And I'm going to bring everybody up right now. Roberta, how you doing?
Hi.
John Huerta, how you doing?
Hola.
And not last but least, Leela. So,
What? Not last but least.
God, is she here?
Sorry, that's part of my dyslexic Spanish English.
You're good. You're
Yeah.
good.
So, Roberta, how do you pronounce your last name?
Alvarado.
Okay, I
Alvarado.
thought so, but I didn't want to mess it up. That's why I didn't do the introductions like that. So, yeah. Anyway, so we like to welcome everybody here and welcome for this show for an artist chat. And we all know each other in some way or the other, you know, did shows together or, you know, crossed each other's paths on this. And I'm excited to have you all here tonight. We can ask questions and well, hopefully the audience will ask us questions about, you know, how we are. So, Roberta, how you doing tonight?
I'm good.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm good. Yeah, good. You know, good as time, ready to go and ready to do this and excited to show your photography tonight. I saw you sent them to me some pictures. So it's interesting to see where that comes from too. And yeah. Any words for the audience or?
Oh, me? Oh, hi. Thank you.
Sorry. Betty says, buenas noches. Hi, Betty. How you doing? Betty
Hola,
Sanchez.
Betty.
Yeah. So everybody's coming on now. So that's great. And John, how you doing?
Doing great.
Yeah.
Now. Yep.
Yes. Yeah. So yes, we've had our drinks, right? Our our pre-show drinks tonight. That's good. We all synced up with each other. So I'm excited to show some more artwork. And we had a good show with you the other night.
Yes,
what's that?
It was fun. It was fun.
Yeah. And also we have Lila Rivera. Hi, Leela.
Oh,
now I can hear you.
Okay, good.
I couldn't hear you earlier. Okay.
Perfect. So how you doing, Leela?
Doing good.
Okay.
Just
I
chilling.
want to make sure. We've had a little
I
technical
just
issues,
hope
but
I stay connected. That's all.
no, you will. You'll be fine. We know how to reconnect, so on there. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's exciting to have you on there too. We had Leela on for a show earlier this year before we started to really get going here. So it's nice to have you back and have seen on there.
you.
Yes. So yes, and let me ask you a question. I'm going to go back to all of you real quick again. So Roberta, can you explain a little bit what you do too, and what your artwork is, and what you're going to present tonight?
So I'm a photographer, and one of the things I like to do is go to Mexico, and I've been through Nicaragua, and I have a lot more countries I want to visit, and I just backpack, just really travel minimalistically with just a backpack and my camera, and I take pictures. And in this case, then I enjoyed, I went to Hanal Pashan, which is the Mayan version of Dia de los Muertos, in the Yucatan. And I was able to photograph it along with some of the preceding traditions.
Right on. That sounds wonderful. Yeah.
Wow.
And Mr. John, you've done also from the Hollywood, right? The Hollywood Cemetery.
Oh yeah, I did a couple of events at the Hollywood Forever in LA,
Yeah.
and it's actually Santa Monica.
Yeah.
In 2013, I designed the poster for that. It was like Mundo de las Viejas, and that was a great project to work on because it was just so colorful and everything. Actually, I have the original painting here, but yeah, it was a fun painting to do. And then they made posters and T-shirts and everything. But the event alone, it was crazy because people were all dressed up. They'd go all out,
Yeah.
with the costumes and everything. And I was just so impressed. And then the 1 year, Leela Down was there, and my canopy happened to be right in front of the stage because they had the whole grass area. It was amazing because I saw Leela Down about at least 4 or 5 times already.
Yeah, she's amazing, right?
She is amazing.
Yeah. I saw her too when she was in Sacramento, and then I think when she was in Davis. Yeah.
Crest Theater. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a great one.
Yeah.
Right up, you can hear her voice and everything.
Exactly.
So,
and I love it when she comes out with a Muscat bottle on her head.
Yeah. Oh, every time someone says Muscat, sorry.
Oh, sorry. Here it on.
He's like, that's my cue.
Sorry, that's my cue. Veronica de Leon says hola.
Hola.
Hola, Veronica de Leon. I'm gonna do RGB soon. Yes. RBG. Yes.
Yes. And we have Yoli Sanchez says buenas noches a todos. So buenas noches. Yeah. So Leela, John, I'm sorry. What in your artwork we're going to present to you has Day of the Dead, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Leela? Yeah. I'm sorry. Sorry. Was that Mescal? Leela?
Yeah.
How are you?
Yeah, Mescal.
Doing good.
Yeah. So your artwork too. We showed some of it earlier this year, but I saw some of the pictures of the doors you finally finished too. Those were pretty cool. Yeah.
Oh, that was awesome.
Yeah, and we'll show some of everybody's work, and we'll get into.
I saw those. They were beautiful. Beautiful work.
Thank you, John.
They were. See, everybody's talking about them.
I like when people go over there and take pictures. Like John, I always see people taking pictures of your mural, and I see it on Instagram.
All the time.
Oh, that's awesome.
And they grab me out of the shop. Can I take a picture of you with the mural? I'm like, not like there's 20 people in my shop or anything. No, sure.
Nice.
And Carlos says mezcal. Perfect.
Yeah,
sorry. God, dang it.
Oh, wait. Oh, sorry.
Otra. So,
Mezcal, I'll play along.
yeah. So let's get to I can skip myself. We'll go around and we'll do some stuff too. So I guess I'll have to interview myself. So Ruben, what do you do?
What do you do?
Yeah. So I go to Oaxaca every year. I have friends and I'm actually a community of artists and friends now over there because I've been going there so often. A lot of it in the background. Oops, sorry, I can't do it. It's is the films or scenes that I've taken there too. I'll show a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Later on too, but this is all from. You can see the movement and what they do over there too. It's a very beautiful event. We go everywhere. I love to go to different parts of Mexico too. I just got stuck in Oaxaca because I just made a family down there. Well, not made a family. That sounds weird. I became family.
That was pretty fast.
Sorry. Yeah, I became family to all the family and friends stuff. So
Ruben has another family.
Really?
Kelly Cocteles. That's right. Hola, Serge. ¿Cómo estás? Surge to the rescue. Thank you for getting me out of there. Anyways, so I take,
child support. That's good.
Yes. So, as a visual artist, I go take, use my camera as my lens and my brush, and I'll take pictures and I'll change them up to where, I'm an energy person. So I like energy and I see things like auras and stuff like that. So I'll change them to what I think feels what it should be. I mean, even though they're human beings, but
that's awesome. That's totally
so
awesome.
A lot of pictures. That's what I'm gonna show tonight is more pictures of people rather than events. But except for the little bit of the film. So, but yeah. So let's get to going. Roberta, I'm gonna bring some pictures up from you and some of your artwork here as soon as I find it. And we will get to going. And everybody else, if anybody has any questions, please feel free to ask. So I will bring up one. It's Roberta. Yeah.
Oh, beautiful.
Wow.
Yeah. So what was this like, Roberta?
Okay, so I spend. It seems like whenever I'm traveling, I end up in a cemetery. I'm always drawn to them, but especially because of the time this was leading up to Hanalpashan in the Yucatan. So I went to some of the small pueblos, and I didn't know what I was going to see because this isn't something that you could really foresee, like how they're going to celebrate. So I was really fortunate in that one day that I was here, the gentleman, one of the cemetery workers, told me that they were going to have a family come the next day, and they're going to do this tradition in which they exhume the body after 3 to 6 years of their loved one being buried. And then they separate the bones, which is what he's doing here. The cemetery workers separating the bones. Then they're going to wrap it in a nice white cloth and take it to the family tomb. And they gave me permission. I had a Zoom, so I stayed far away. So I was really not intrusive, but they gave me permission to photograph this. And so I was really honored. I was literally shaking because I knew the weight of what, they allowed me to participate in. So this is one of the shots from that. But also, if people want to see more, they can go to my website and see the whole series. And it does get very graphic, but I find it very beautiful because as the body decomposes, you really do go back to Earth. And so I chose it as a way of celebrating the life cycle.
Right on. No, it's really beautiful. Is you always say of course you get permission from people to take the pictures of it. And did they talk to you much about what they were doing or the tradition or anything like that? Or
I learned the tradition from the cemetery workers, but I didn't talk to them because I didn't want to interrupt their time. So basically, but yes, I did learn from the cemetery workers. And around this time of year, it's really busy because everybody's there year round. It's just part of life to go and visit the cemetery and light the candles and put fresh flowers. And it's very open, not like here at all, where it's just very open and honored in a place of respect. So everybody treats it as such. So they did tell me, the cemetery workers did tell me, and also a gentleman that I met outside of this who first introduced me to this tradition, he told me as well that basically that's what they do. They buried their loved one for 3 to 6 years. So it's kind of a mix of Mayan tradition and the Catholic influences, Yeah.
well, cool. Let's bring up another one for you then. We'll go 2 at a time.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
That's
So
beautiful.
this is the night. The Hanalpashan is 3 nights. And this is the first night. And so I made this connection with this, this young boy who's looking at me. But really, it's more than that, because if you look through it, you see it looks to me like a love triangle. Do you see that? So he's looking at her, she's flirting back, and this other guy to the right is watching. So it's just a lot going on.
Someone's mad. Someone's pissed. Looking at my... It's a beautiful picture, though. It really is, and it's really beautiful that that even though the front part is focused, you can still see the story behind. If you really look into it, that really nice depth in there too.
Thank you. I like something your eyes can bounce around to and notice,
Exactly.
and this really gave me that.
It's a beautiful photo.
Thank you.
And this is in the Yucatan region.
Yes, this isn't actually the Yucatan, the capital of Merida.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And the street and the section, it gets full, and it's just, they said it had grown more and more every year, because it used to take place in just the little pueblos, and then they made it more of a larger celebration. Thank you, Yoli.
Yeah.
And so this is just like a few years into that new celebration of taking it and centralizing it in Merida, and they said the crowds had just grown massively.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's great. I think that's awesome. That's some really good. It's beautiful pictures and beautiful. Like that.
Beautiful.
Very beautiful spirit. Leela is next.
Oh.
So, all right. Let's go to. I'll go to your first ones right here.
Which one? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ah,
Yay,
gorgeous.
Selena and Lucy.
Ah.
I need to find Lucy, or not. I need to find Selena. She's missing. I think she's in my garage somewhere.
She's gone.
I took her out, and displayed her, and then now I don't remember where I packed her.
Well, she's here right now. So.
Yeah, she's here right now.
Yes, she is. Only Leela could do that.
Gorgeous.
Yeah. I know. Two of my favorite. I grew up with Selena and Lucy, so these are two of my favorite ones. It just, reminds me of the way I grew up at home.
Oh, good.
And yeah, so yep. I started doing Day of the Dead work when my grandpa passed away in 2011, and watercolors. These are both watercolors, and they're really, really tricky. Like, it took me about 2 years of watercolor classes until finally I felt comfortable enough.
It's unforgiving, but you have to practice and practice and practice and practice and practice and practice.
Yes. I know.
Yes.
I practiced
Beautiful.
a lot, and I studied other watercolor books too.
Yep.
Like, that's the thing, and I was just amazed by how beautiful watercolor.
They're beautiful.
Yeah,
Beautiful
once you
pieces.
learn to control it, it's amazing, and it reminds me a lot of like pen and ink.
Yes.
And so it's way different than acrylics. Now, sometimes I struggle with acrylics, but because I got so
I love
used to
acrylics.
watercolors. When you go back and forth, it's like, whoa.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like you're retraining your mind.
You are, yeah. You're like, I know how to do this. I just gotta remember how.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So.
Beautiful.
Their eyes are gorgeous.
Oh,
Yeah.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I try to make all their masks different, and with Lucy's, I did her orange reddish mask to go with her hair, and then it complements her eyes. So like, this is perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That's great. No, I love the detail in it, and I love that you can still feel the life in them too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even though they're gone, and people.
Oh, I was listening to Selena music all day today, and I'm just like, it's crazy. Yeah.
Here we go.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, thank you, Christopher.
Nice.
Yeah.
Right on. Well, that's good. That's and you live in Yuba City, right? Obviously.
Yep.
I mean, I know
live in
that.
Yuba
So
City. It's so funny. For the longest time, everyone thought I was from Sac because I would always show in Sac. I never really showed.
Yeah.
I showed in Sacramento before I showed in Yuba City.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. And I don't know. It was just funny because over there, I felt like people are really open-minded and they have a more variety of different kind of artwork, Whereas here, it felt more like, okay, landscape kind of scenery, and
Yeah.
I thought that's not really my thing. I mean, I
Very
love
conservative,
landscapes.
yes.
Yeah, but I want to do something different, something more my culture, something more me, So
Well, good. Good.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, and John, we're going to bring up your cards that you've made because it has a lot of different styles that you do, and those are pretty cool. I remember that was a last time we saw it. It was pretty. It was so these are them right here.
Yeah.
Wow.
I used to do. Yeah, I still do them, but
Nice.
each one of them have separate names, and it's just people who inspired me in life, and yeah, that's when I really started doing De Los Muertos art. And then to recognize the beauty of it and to remember loved ones who had passed.
Mm-hmm.
But I
Is-
also recognize
Oh, go ahead.
I also recognize people who inspired me in general, like my professors or my teachers, elementary school, friends, family, everybody.
Is that now? Are these available in cards? You said, or
Yes, they are cards.
okay.
What I usually do is tell them is I pick a number, which one they want, and just miss me, and then I just go and create an invoice. I can send it to the email.
Oh, okay. Yeah, these are cool. And I mean, I went by your shop the other day, so I mean, I see it's you need to go there and see it in person too. It's awesome. So,
but it's funny during this COVID time, I'm so inspired. I'm always working, doing new pieces one after another. It's just like I can't make it stop. And it's weird, but I enjoy it. I enjoy it.
Yeah,
That's nice.
Very
What's nice is we can all like see like which one we identify with or who we're buying it for.
Exactly.
I think I would be 296. That's me.
290.
That's what I feel like. Yeah.
Ah.
Hold on, let me look it up.
It's the butterfly.
My favorite one right here is 302 because I love the ruffles on her dress. That's so pretty. Like, I want that dress.
That's the one I was gonna say too. Is 302. Yeah.
So pretty.
Funny, yes.
And like over the shoulder.
That's Consuela.
Beautiful.
Consuela.
Ah.
Yes. Yes.
Is that Consuela meaning somebody that you know, or Consuela you name them all, like the women?
She was an old love I used to have back in high school.
Oh, Consuela.
Here come out the stories. Tell us.
Yeah, these are the stories that we. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll private message you. They're very detailed.
That's okay. I'll put it up. I'm like, oh, okay, there you go.
Everything.
So,
has a story.
yeah, Betty says the artwork all you is incredible, including yours, Ruben. Thank you very much, Betty.
Betty, besos
Yeah.
y abrazos.
Someone loves 30. Oh, Yoli loves 303. Did I cover it? Oh yeah.
Ooh, that purple is beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Rio.
I love purple.
Oh yeah.
Story. See, I told you.
Story time.
That's the Dia de los Muertos telenovela. That's that one.
All right. ¿Dónde está la doña?
That's right.
Estoy esperando.
The story behind the painting.
You know what's funny? I used to love watching my grandmother, watching the novella with my grandmother. And I'm like, Grandma, why is she dressed like a hooker? I got smacked in the face. Like, never ask me that again.
No, that's awesome.
Yes.
Well, thank you. We'll move on to this Ruben guy. Yeah, Ruben. No, I'm gonna I'll bring it up. Yeah, I'll bring it up. So,
I love that. Yes.
Nice.
So these, these are.
Seen that one.
Which one?
The one on the right. I don't think I've seen that one.
No, and they're a little bit different textures that I do with them now. So evolving differently with different ones, and even some of them I've taken. Actually, the first one on the left is one of the first ones I've ever taken when I was down there.
Well, I love that because it has atmosphere, like it's moving.
Yeah.
Love it. I love it.
She's stirring up her spirit, like
Exactly.
That's pre-COVID too, because I was like, "Don't put your hand by your mouth."
Yeah.
And then she said, "What? I don't think so."
Yeah. So this is all in Oaxaca, and people up there, dressing up and walking around as they go. And they're really, very beautiful. I mean, really the credit goes to them for their creativity on how they do it. And the one on the left is all recycled goods, and it's all styrofoam that people used before. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I
Didn't
see.
even
Now
notice
you
that.
just send me cycles,
Very
like I
creative.
look
Very
like cups,
creative.
like
Yes.
Yeah.
great.
So it's cool to see, it's like I said, it's a beautiful creative down there over there. There's a lot of artists in Oaxaca. And,
Yes.
I was telling my friends is that because the tradition's already in there, that the artists do more modern stuff, more modern takes on Dia de los Muertos, than they usually would. But there's just because, obviously the traditions go steep in there. So you have all that tradition. So,
Trying to stay up to date.
yeah. Thank you for sharing your art. Much positivity and refreshing.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's it.
And that's what we're here for. So, yeah. So, these are two pieces that I did. Usually we'll either print them on glass or another file or something that's like wood, so I can paint acrylic over it too to add different spots. And so, these are just the beginnings of the pieces. So they're not quite finished them yet. So so that's the round one of us. But I want to go and actually talk about the Panteon too, which will be here Thursday the 29th to November 1st. So it's going to be a drive-in Panteon at the Latino Center of the Arts. So reserve your times because it's going to be a drive-through Panteon. So it's a little bit different in these times, but it's going to be cool. So
you're gonna send these flyers out like my Facebook and stuff so I can share it?
yeah, we'll find a way to do that. It is yeah. So, and Sir says hello, creative folks. Yes, Sir, I think he's in Washington D.C. right now. So, yeah. So let's go back to Roberta stuff because we're on a good roll here.
Good.
We'll bring up
I love this gentleman. So this was another day in one of the cemeteries, and so he works there and he paints. So earlier I said that leading up to the Hanal Bashan, it's a very busy, and they're painting and just getting everything all nice and pretty for the celebration. So this gentleman was one of the painters. And this back section where he is, that's kind of gated off from the front section, is especially old. I wish I knew the year. But it was kind of funny because I was back here and then that wall was crumbled down and it looked really cool with the jungle and then the crumbled wall. So I wanted to go out in the jungle and then I heard some noise and so I came running back and I didn't even go back in the cemetery. That was like it for the day. But what's really cool about this guy is his shirt, though. It says Lost Soul. And it just trips me out that he's wearing that shirt and the green. It's just perfect. And his hands. I love old, like weathered elderly hands that tell a story. And then his eyes, he has some cataracts and is losing his vision. I don't know how old he is, but he was out there painting all day. And it was hot, despite how he's dressed, it was hot.
Yeah, it's a very beautiful picture.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So he works, he paints the tumbas, right? Is that what he does?
Yeah, all the little flowers that you're seeing and all those flowers and everything, that's what he was doing.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah,
on the tumbas or the mausoleums.
Yeah. Well, it's funny how they have so many different names for them. So
I know.
I'm like, I'm gonna go over there. Like, no.
So after they have the thank you, Raider Cat.
Yeah.
After they exhume the body and they separate the bones, they put the bones in these little tumbas.
Oh wow.
So there'll be whole family members in there, like lots of families members in there.
Yeah, and do they do? Because I know that I went to in Oaxaca one time. I went to where they stack them on top of each other, right? Families. Do they do that there?
Do you mean in the ground or
yeah,
like?
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't notice that. Not that I saw.
Yeah, when I went to Oaxaca, they had. Different towns have their own different traditions, and they, all the family stays together, so they just stack them on. They stack them on top of each other. So when you pass away, they stack you on top of your relative.
So do they also have these? Does it look like this in Oaxaca?
A little bit, yeah.
Ah.
It's really like in the smaller towns. So
I think They do that in Agualulco, where my family's from too, because
Ah,
my grandpa is stacked on top. I think they're gonna put my grandma on top of my grandpa when she passes away,
Okay, yeah.
because they already have it like all set up for that. Yeah,
are they in traditional caskets?
I'm not sure.
Mm.
Yeah, I
These
was.
ones are like tin. These are
Oh,
like
really?
tin metal.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, I always wondered about how they do it in other countries, you know, because I've only been to funerals here and mostly cemeteries here.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But it's so interesting to see the ones in Mexico. They're
Yeah.
really beautiful. You really feel it like when you go there.
Hmm.
I've
Yeah.
only been to one time, and that was when
Just
it was
so much
already years.
respect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. And I love how each like tomb kind of like represents the person, you know,
Mhm.
of the way it's decorated or the kind of flowers that's on there.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's really meaningful. It's sweet.
And there's the people like this gentleman that paints, but there's also family members that come that are painting and their own tombs as well, their own family tomba or mausoleum
Right.
as well.
Wow.
Yeah. It is interesting. I happen to always come across funeral processions. When
Yeah.
I travel, like in Nicaragua, I ran across like three of them. Yeah.
So Betty says,
The tumbas are different. What does novelas mean?
Niveles? I'm not sure.
let's
Maybe
see.
different, like
She says
caskets.
yes, they're buried in different traditional caskets.
Ah. Oh, okay.
Well, thank you, Betty.
Have you been to Puerto Nuevo? Hey, Victor, how you doing?
Yeah. Hi, Victor. No, I haven't personally. I
And
have a
then
lot of places to still go to. Her grandparents and her fathers are in the same tumba. Oh, they're buried together in the same casket or the same tumba, the same tomb. Okay. Yeah.
wow, that's cool. So let's go to what, is it John next? No, Leela's next. That's right. Leela. Ah, because we want to show you your.
Oh,
Ah,
Both
I
of you.
love that feather cat.
yes.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm so happy to have it. I'm gonna look for a frame for my mannequin. I'm gonna buy a big vintage Victorian
There you
looking
go.
frame. Yeah,
Ah.
and
Yeah,
my
just
my
sew
idea
it
is
down with fish line.
yeah.
Why
Yeah.
you do?
I'm gonna spray
I used to
paint it.
do framing. Yes, I used to do
Yeah,
framing.
I'm gonna spray
Oh.
paint it. I don't know what color. Maybe gold or a teal. I think would look really nice. Yeah.
Not with
So
the
that's the
blue.
plan. And
Not with
then
the blue.
the one that I made on the right there.
I
Oh
love
Pretty.
gosh,
that
I don't
one.
even remember what year I did that. It was one of my first acrylic paintings. It was one of my first Day of the Dead acrylic paintings. So
Beautiful,
it was probably
beautiful.
back in
Pretty.
2011, I think, when I painted this one. And it's a small piece. It's just a 12 by 12. And my college professor, bought that one from me, so I get to visit it from time to time
Ah.
when I go see her.
Isn't that
Yeah,
just an honor to do
I
that?
know.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
I love that.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. Congratulations.
Yeah, that is so neat. I love this mannequin. So I had seen it before when you showed it, but I didn't get a good
Oh,
look. Like
okay.
I can see it
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun to make. I never painted a mannequin before, so it was interesting. I knew I wanted to add a cast to it, like Frida's.
Mhm.
But I knew I wanted to paint that column as our spinal column. So that's the very first thing I did was start on that column, and then I just let everything else just get like fall into place. So it was a lot of fun to paint.
And Frida's one of your favorites, right?
Yes, Rita's my favorite. Every day, all day, every day.
Mhm.
Everywhere I go, she follows me.
Mhm.
I go shopping, like I go places, and I always find something Frida. Like even if I'm at a
Mm.
thrift store, I'll find something Frida. I'm like, oh, you're following me, okay?
Mm. That's
Yeah,
so cool.
I must get it.
Yes, of
I
course.
love how you did the womb.
Mhm.
There,
Oh,
the
yeah,
uterus.
on
That's
the
amazing.
Yeah, on the bottom there, I did a replica of one of her paintings. Oh shoot, I forgot what it was called, but it was a combination between the female and male genitalia, and she turned it into a
Oh,
flower.
that's right. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
really beautiful. And I think she painted that maybe after she had lost her baby. I can't remember.
Yes.
But yeah. And I just liked how she did. It kind of reminded me of Judy Chicago when she did her flower paintings,
Yeah.
and Georgia O'Keeffe as well. So it's kind of
Yes.
like seeing her combine, with that
Yes.
style too. So yeah.
So
Yeah.
gorgeous. Melissa said so gorgeous.
Hi, Melissa.
Yes.
Ellie
Beautiful,
said
beautiful.
amazing.
Thank you.
Carlos said hi, Betty. And then we have right before that, Yoli said you capture this gentleman's pride in his photo, which goes before. Now we have a question for you, Leela.
Thank you. That's cool.
Do I have prints of my paint? I have prints of my paintings. I do have. I think the biggest size prints right now I have are 8x10s, but they vary. I also have some gift cards too, like John does, that I sell for $5. Gift cards with, or not gift cards. They're greeting cards. Sorry, greeting cards with envelopes too. So I do have a few prints, but I should make a print of just the mannequin. I think that would be fun.
Yeah, that'd be
to
cool.
have. Yeah.
I enjoy that one too.
Oh, thank you, Jasmine. Yeah.
Yeah, so you looks like you got a lot of people that like that one too. So John sent me something just now, so we're gonna bring that up too, John. I was able to pop it up for you. And I did one out of the two, I think, so far. So,
Okay.
and we're gonna
Oh,
let me try.
Oh, yes. That was one of my first one I did. It was it's called Amor Eterno. And that's actually on my business card.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, I have that one.
Yeah. It was actually the recognition of Frida Kahlo, but just the beauty of De Los Muertos and the respect and the tradition. And how I got into it is like when my sister died May 24, 1999, my grandmother died, who raised me, February 12, 2000. I went downhill. I was drinking and going to work, and it's like I kept on hearing my grandmother's voice over and over again. Mijo, do what you're passionate about. And mind you, I studied art, everything I could at universities and colleges, and it was just everything clicked. And I studied and I researched on Dia de los Muertos, the tradition, and with Posado's etching and everything. And it was just ever since then, it was just this is what it was part of my alma that I put in every single art that I do.
That's a beautiful one. It really is.
Thank
You can
you,
tell.
thank
Yeah, you can tell. You can tell.
Yeah. Because I love vibrancy of color,
Yeah.
and what gives me so much joy when I bring joy to people when they look at my artwork, like, oh my God, your work is beautiful, it's so colorful, and I did my job.
Yeah.
And was that kind of hard to do? Because I know that you said you were going through a rough time, or is that kind of heal you in that way, or just
It was very therapeutic. Because
Yeah.
I remember 2 years after when they died, I can't remember, but when I kept on listening to my grandmother's voice, and she said, "Stop, Mijo, do what you're passionate about." And then a friend of mine told me about Dia de los Muertos, and it's like after that, it was kind of like it was like one after another, one art piece after another.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think I mean, the most people that I know didn't really grow up on Dia de los Muertos, because
Exactly,
we were from Zacatecas, so that was different. I stumbled upon it. Well, I would say that I was born into it. My mom died when I was born.
Yeah.
So I had a spiritual connection, to life and death. A bridge. But anyways, besides that, I mean, I've always felt connections with the living and the deceased, so to speak, my whole life. But I never, celebrated it at home. We never did that because we were from, more up north, and kind of, Zacatecas is not really known for that. So, but going down to Oaxaca, I that wasn't why I was going. I just kind of stumbled into it, and so, I think we're all kind of like that too, because I think trying to find the tradition and trying to find different things, and we find that there is a lot of different traditions too. And I mean, I'm glad that people are doing it here in America too, because they need to find their own way to celebrate the passing of someone instead of just like forgetting about them. Yeah.
And one thing I want to bring up is I used to talk at schools before the COVID.
Yeah.
And I remember one time I walked, I was gonna do a presentation for Career Day for a friend of mine, and it was like 9 different classes coming in. So I put my artwork on the bulletin board and everything. And it's funny because they all walk in. It's like, okay, this is after Coco, the movie came out.
Yeah.
They go, oh, look like Coco. So I already knew the first question I was going to ask, how many of you seen Coco?
Yeah.
Most of them raised their hand. And so I explained how I got into it, how I was inspired, how everybody that inspired me, like not only people that I passed, but also people who were like my professors, my teachers, and everything else. But it's one little boy in one of the classes raised his hand and goes, yeah, you have a question? He goes, yeah, I just want to tell you that I got a picture of my abuelita and they put her on our friend. I'm like, that right there made it to a point that it was important to remember our loved ones.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's where we get kind of lost in the Western ways of things,
Exactly.
and European West, like, hey, they're with us all the time, right?
Exactly.
So,
I can start my grandmother saying, don't use that color because it's not going to look good. I'm like, seriously? But she was saying Spanish, and I'm holding my changla right now. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. So Jasmine says she loves the contemporary color choices. Where did you study art?
Well, I studied Arizona State. Then I went up to move to Oregon. I went to Oregon State. And I moved to Sacramento, and it became my home. I've been here close to 27 years.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
So, John, I love it con todo corazón.
Oh,
Yoli wants to know how long did it take to create this piece?
that took me about a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
But it's funny because all these different people come into my shop. They ask me, how long did it take you to do this and that? Well, let me tell you, it could vary from a couple of days to a couple of months. I used to do realism in color pencil. That took me a year.
Yeah.
But the one piece that took me 2 days was Jimi Hendrix.
Oh,
I
yeah.
drew it out one day because I already knew in my mind what it's going to look like. And I was not going to stop the next day to finish painting it. But it's one of my favorite pieces, yes.
Yeah, yeah. And then Victor says, I haven't been exposed much to Dia de los Muertos here in San Diego. And I think it's getting, I won't say popular, but I think people are starting to,
Recognize it.
Yeah, recognize and dig into your own roots, right? It is within there. We're all indigenous, so it is part of the tradition. You just got to find it, somewhere.
Exactly.
And you can't be afraid because it is the tradition, and it is all of us has all of us in there. So, and I am going to bring up one of mine, and this is one I have it overhanging at the Cantina Alley, but I don't really print it up that much. People want to buy it, and I'll maybe once in a while I'll sell it to them. I don't usually sell a lot of my stuff. I don't know, because I'm a hoarder that way, I think. Yeah.
You call it a collection. I call it hoarding.
Yeah. No, because I'm like, no. Even if it's a print, I'm like, no. I get shy sometimes. I'm like, no, you don't want to buy it. But this is one of the first ones when I was to Oaxaca. One of the first ones I took a picture, captured. So we'll go here right now, and
that's my favorite one right there.
Yeah,
Wow.
I love it.
Yes.
And it was part of the the series of recyclables, right? And but I really liked she had a great outfit on, but I think the hat and this face was probably the best shot. Just her eyes and up close of it. So and I wasn't searching for it, and that's sometimes photography you can't search for it because you got to write.
Her head was made of bottle caps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That got my attention. That's what got my attention.
Yeah. So it can never capture the same picture again. I tried.
No.
Yeah.
That moment is gone.
You gotta get that one. Yep.
Yeah, so the moment is gone, but yeah, this is just in the not the Zocalo, but the Alaca in Oaxaca. It's a walkway that you going around, and there's a huge 2-mile pedestrian walkway that heads to the Zocalo. But this is where all the action happens. All the everybody goes down there, and met a lot of wonderful people there at and a lot of friends. People. Thank you, Marcela, and thank you, Yoli. Yeah, so it's I think it's a crowd favorite, so to speak, and I think that's why I don't really. I mean, yeah. So soon I'll release it, but yeah. So we go from there, but there's no really name to it. So Yes.
That's so cool. The way the bottle caps that the way
Yeah.
it's just so creative, so neat. I love
Yeah.
seeing all the. I would say that in the Yucatan it's more uniform. It's
Yeah.
not that I've definitely noticed that it is different.
Well,
Yeah.
I think it's Oaxaca. I mean, if people, you got to go outside the city, right? You got to go into the towns, and there are so many artists. There's the one town, my particular town that I love is called Sachila, which is a small town, but it had, I just, when I drive or when I go to Mexico, I just say, hey, make a left here, and then we'll make a left, and I don't know where we're going, but I ran into Sachila, and the whole town was of murals, and I was like, what is going on here? And I had to stop and get out, and then I met the artist there. We're friends now, but it's just a beautiful. I mean, there's so many artists in Oaxaca, in Mexico too, but especially in Oaxaca, in that region. I mean, not just the city itself, because the city is where everybody comes, but in the towns, I mean, these people really, really do some beautiful artwork, and just it's insane what they would do with a bucket, or something you find on the ground. So, but what we're going to do is we're going to go to a little bit of a break. Just going to go to some of the kind of things that happen live in Oaxaca. I'm going to play some of it. We'll come back. Just a little break here right now. So.
Beautiful.
Does each one of them honor a different saint?
Yes. Yeah. And these are the religious ones too. They have the.
Those are huge. You have to carry on.
And then there's this. These are all, these are the, when you get later into the nighttime, everything calms down on this. That's the same street and the same, the Alaca in Oaxaca. So we always have these really cool drummers, and that's when all the artists come out and dance. So that's me, actually. So yeah, you have different things, and like really a lot to see. And it's like Victor said. I think he said really want to wander around the farmers markets in Oaxaca. Seemed like a perfect place for cooking kick. Yes, it's very, very awesome place to go cook. By the way, too, they have so much chili and everything. Yeah. But yeah, so there's a lot of, like I said, a lot of stuff going on there. That's that it goes on for weeks until the day comes on, and then everything shuts down on the actual Dia de los Muertos. So
In the Yucatan area, the kids are off for the week. There's no
Oh, yeah.
school.
Wow.
that's awesome. Yeah, it's great. I don't know how honest. I don't know how this year is going to be because I talked to my friends in Oaxaca and know what I know is going to go down there, just because of COVID, and they're respecting the the state itself and the people down there because they won't let anybody in the little towns, pueblos. They actually shut them off, so you can't go in there unless you're from there. So and that because they're doing
Yeah.
not too great over there either too. So this year will be yeah a lot different. So yes, so let's go to Roberta again. Let me get one right here. These two right here.
Ah,
Ooh. Wow.
okay. So thank you. The one on the one with the lady, that was earlier in the day in the same cemetery as the boy. So that was just earlier in the day. And I like, again, like in this photo, the closer you look, there's little things like over her shoulder as an angel, like whispering, like shh, going shh, whatever that is. And then and that was she was just sitting there and I said, "Can I take your photo?" And then she just goes, "Yeah." And she just did that. And I took 3 photos of her and doing different poses, and each one is great. I just choose this one. And then this other one is in one of the cemeteries, a different one than the ones that I showed earlier. And so this one I love a lot because there's sisters just wandering throughout the cemetery, and they were just there supporting people and giving hugs. It's like they knew everybody. Like they were like the different nuns were just because there's more than these 2. There was some other nuns there as well, and they would just like greet people and give hugs, and like it's just such a tight community. I wish we had something like that here. So I just see this as very like I call it sisterly support, because I just think it's really beautiful sense of community and support.
Yeah. And did you ever talk to them or?
I talked to some of them, and one of the ladies, yeah, I do speak to some people.
Yeah.
I don't actually speak Spanish.
Oh.
So it's kind of surprising how I can do this, right?
No.
It's okay.
I surprised myself. Like, how am I doing this? I'm like, I better go home and learn some Spanish.
It's okay. I know Spanish, but I always get lost anyways too. So
Yeah, so there was one of these ladies, she wanted to talk because her daughter was learning English in school. So they learn English in school. So they learn Spanish, Mayan. A lot of these areas, their Mayan is in the school.
wow.
And then they also learn English. So I was speaking English with one of the kids there who was taking it in class.
Is that am I echoing?
No, I don't hear it.
No, I could hear it from me. So when you when you go down there, like, do you have a destination, or do you know where you're going, or like, is it?
I have a rough draft.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No. Yeah.
A rough idea of places because especially for this one in which I had a goal, and it's not, I didn't know what I was going to find. I actually thought what I was going to find were altars built throughout the cemetery and the bones on display, and them cleaning the bones and displaying them.
Yeah.
But that is more in Campeche. And since so many people go to Campeche, I just went in this direction instead. But I did get a little paranoid. I was getting really paranoid that I was going to come home empty-handed. And then because we did it, there's no like set schedule, you just have to find it.
Yeah.
And so I like to be really intuitive and have my freedom and listen and talk, believe it or not. So I found what I was looking for. But no, I just do a lot of research in the area, and I carry a little book that has information on where some different destinations are within a potential pueblo that I might go to, so that when I do go, I've done my research on that area.
Yeah. You kind of leave it open.
Then I leave it open. Yeah.
That's cool.
That's
awesome.
fun. I know where I'm going to go the first day, and I know where I'll be the last day. But in between, I don't necessarily know. And I take buses and everything.
I think that's the best way to travel. Like, not really plan so much out. Just be free and open to whatever happens.
It's fun and it's very doable because there's hostels. So I stay in hostels.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, Jabs, I love the piece of the nuns. The light broken next to them is like how they light for these people. Beautiful.
Next to them is like they are the light now for these people. Beautiful. Oh, I thank you. I am so happy that light is there.
Yeah.
It makes such a difference. Makes the picture.
It does.
Thank you.
So, usually Leela reads more than when I have two sentences, but
Me too, Ruben. Well, good.
yeah. And so John's next, right? Yes. And you're talking about your Jimi Hendrix ones that you did too, and also the mural that you made too. So we have that together right now too, which is these.
Oh
right?
yeah. Well, yeah, I love doing Dia de los Muertos art. I did because Jenny Rivera. I love her music. She was like the diva de la banda. But with this piece, I couldn't put her in the pink dress because that was the last dress she wore when she had the concert, and of course, she had a plane crash. And then Jimi Hendrix, because I love Jimi Hendrix. I remember growing up with his music, with Janis Joplin, Jim Morrison, all of those '60s music. And of course, Selena. I can never have enough Selena. Come on, not flawed. and then Prince, of course, Purple. Like in the '90s, Prince. But it was so funny. Like one of the events I had outdoor, like last year, this guy came up to me like, "Oh, I love that beautiful painting of Rick James." I'm like, what? I didn't know how to respond. I couldn't say "bless your heart" for trying. So I'm like, okay, well, you need to go. But the mural on the right is at the Cantina Alley at the Placita MX. That was like the most favorite mural I ever done, because the background of the mural, the geometric shapes, it reminded me of a project I used to do when I was in college, back when I was younger, back in 19, like whatever. And then I loved it. Because I love the challenging of the colors fighting each other. But if you notice, it goes from blue to the warm colors from left to right. And we notice on the hummingbirds from right to left, they go from blue to warm. They pop out.
Yeah.
But I get so many comments. I get so many feedbacks on this mural. It's like I have to do more. That's basically that's something I want to do. That's one of my things I want to do here in Sacramento. Because we need more culture in Sacramento, definitely.
Yes.
We do.
Everywhere.
Yes.
Yes.
I think that's the theme, right?
Yes.
That we need more culture.
I'm determined. I'm determined.
That's the next revolution coming. You know, for how many different groups and people here in Sacramento, there should be more.
Exactly.
For what? Yeah, it should be more than European artwork. We should have more
Yes.
There's tons.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
exactly.
And real quick, Jose says, if anyone out there correlation between All Souls Day, Catholic holiday, Dia de los Muertos, and Halloween, are they a few days away from each other? Is this a coincidence? From my understanding, and I remember a shaman teaching me that when the wintertime is when the physical plane and the spiritual plane hit together, the closest time they come. Like fall is when all the leaves fall. Philippines, they do a tradition. Poland they do a tradition too of cleaning the thing. So there really is, and I think that's where that's a really good question, because I think that if you just go and try to find the coincidence yourself, and like you'll find a very beautiful story with this whole thing. And because we all are humans and we all have the same, we all suffer the same thing, right? We're all gonna pass away one time. And I remember, like, when I brought my friend to Oaxaca during Dia de los Muertos, she was sitting back. She said, "Hey, this is also for us who are living, that we'll know we will never be forgotten. And I'm like,
Exactly.
that's a great
Yes.
point, and I think, when people are ready to pass away, when you say, hey, it's okay, right? It's okay to go now. I'll be okay.
Mhm.
We want to, they want to make sure you're safe too, no matter what. So I think that the more that we question, like a question like this, and the more that we, go into our own, especially being Mexican, right? Because of the Spanish conquistadors
Mhm.
and the indigenous us. Well, I mean, I do claim some of my Spanish, but I claim more of my indigenous roots myself. So, but but you have to know what the two are. They, of course, they're blended together, but
Exactly.
but in the whole world, there is a correlation between all of this stuff, and that's why I
Exactly.
think
When I studied it, yes, there is a correlation. There is a universal that respect of loved ones that pass. And even though, like, I wasn't raised with Dia de los Muertos, but there was a importance of just remembering loved ones. I remember seeing my picture of my mother. She died when I was 4. My grandmother raised me, but now it's a constant remembrance. Is
yeah.
to keep them members in our heart and our spirit and our soul, everything.
Yeah, and I think that's a very beautiful point. Is building an altar, right? Everybody's like, how do I build an
Exactly.
altar up? Well, you build an altar with love, and that's all you need, right?
Exactly.
Your
Exactly.
corazón, because like there's so
Exactly.
many different ways to do it.
Con tu
I have
alma, yes.
I have mine right here. Sorry, right here. I have my moms, my 2
Mhm.
moms. I have my dad. I have Prince. My altar. So, and I have Kuan Yin for compassion reasons. But I do that all the time, and it's like
Mhm.
when everybody's like, well, do you go to Oaxaca to build altars? I'm like, no, my altar's in my heart. What I go down
Yes.
there is I know that all my relatives are with me, the ones I even never met before. So when I walk around and I talk to people, there's
Mhm.
always someone there that, I mean, I'm a person that believes especially when you travel somewhere you don't know, that you're going to run into someone that's not really there.
Mhm.
Someone
Yeah.
that's only there for the moment, and that's a
Mhm.
spirit, right? Because I've met many people that I could never
Hello.
find again. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and that's kind of what I believe. So, I mean, people have different beliefs in
Mhm.
what they do. And like I said, going to cemeteries, I really believe I talked to people that weren't there, that were like, this one lady, she wanted me adamantly to tell her daughter that she was taking care of her husband's tomb, right? Her husband's,
Mhm.
and so I'm like, okay, well, she goes, here's the number. I want you to call her, tell her that I'm taking care of it. Then I realized that
Mhm.
when I walked out of the cemetery, I was like, what if that was her spirit telling me, making her daughter feel guilty that she wasn't here? Just like a grandma would do, And I'm like, that's so perfect,
Exactly.
And I was
Like I
like,
was telling Roberta's like, you feel it. I feel the
yeah,
presence of people who are past who are just hurting or aching. And
yeah,
I know I feel my grandmother constantly nagging me, but you know what? But she does that out of love, like she did when she was raising me. She's the one that pushed me to art and music.
yeah,
Just
right,
out of trouble, and it worked, right?
Oh
And
yeah.
she always tell me before I left the house, make good choices. I'm like, are you serious?
yeah. And Darla says Catholics try to erase all. Yeah, that's pretty much it too.
Yes,
They try to
exactly.
combine them. They do try to combine them for purposes.
Yeah.
But they
Don't
do. Yeah.
don't try
But
me again.
it's our culture. I think that's something you can't officially erase. And I know,
You can't.
with Day of the Dead coming up and everything, like it just makes me even more proud to have this in my culture. There's so many people
Exactly.
that they don't
Exactly.
celebrate the things that we do, and we're very lucky to have this in our culture.
You know, it's
and
funny. My
to
grandmother
have it in
loves
our lives.
gardenia. I could smell her right now talking about her.
Yeah. See.
You
That's
know
how
what,
crazy
John?
it is.
I have gardenias on my table right now. I bought a little indoor plant of gardenia, and I can
Smell
This was all
smell
meant
it.
to be.
I can totally smell it.
Isn't
Yeah.
that crazy?
Yeah.
Wow, I could smell her.
Yeah.
But I honestly believe that because what you
Yeah.
have in your alma, it's going to stay there. It's going to make you stronger, regardless what anybody else. And Catholicism, I'm sorry.
It's okay. You're in a safe zone right now.
I went through
Yeah.
so much
Yeah.
with what I'm growing up, forced to, and done things to. But I know the feeling of God and my grandmother, my family, my ancestry, it's always going to be here in my alma. It's always going to be here.
Yeah.
That's what keeps me strong.
Yeah.
Well, let me take a whiff of gardenia here. Oh,
Mhm,
love
here.
it.
I will support for you.
But isn't
So-
that crazy? Isn't that crazy? And dragonflies. I remember I used to be retail manager for years. I remember one time I stepped out of the door just to get a fresh air. After my grandmother died, this dragonfly flew right in front of me. I reached my hand out. Since somebody told me to reach my hand out, it landed on my hand, looked at me, and then flew away. I kid you not.
Yeah, absolutely.
I
It
believe that.
happens.
I believe that.
Me too. Well, the hummingbird. Through my travels, I learned about the hummingbird being so specific to the Americas, but that they come to visit you, and you can give them. They give you messages from your ancestors,
Exactly.
and they remind you of unconditional love because the sun is kissing them and giving them all these beautiful, vibrant colors.
Exactly.
Yeah. And
That's
I get
hummingbird.
visited by hummingbirds a lot.
Hummingbird
Yeah,
represents
that's what I
joy
do
and
too.
happiness. And this is why I'm doing hummingbirds. Look.
And
Hummingbirds.
tenacity, yes. Oh, you know what? That's
Yes.
a trumpet vine. Okay, this is funny, John.
What?
Wait.
Stop.
Okay.
Hold on. Let me take
Hold
a
on.
whiff of Coke.
Wait a minute.
Let
We need a
me hold on a
drink.
second
We
here.
need a
Hold on.
drink
Wait.
for
Hold on.
this.
Salud.
Salud.
And you know what? Before we go on to, we'd like to thank everybody for coming out and showing
Yes.
up, because this is for you. And like I said, this is a Dia de los Muertos show, but it's also just kind of our view and the artist view of Dia de los Muertos. We're not
Exactly.
don't know all the traditions because we're always learning. Every year we go by, I go back and I learn something.
Yeah.
Because you travel town to town and you're like, oh shoot, that's different, right?
Exactly. Hold on.
And,
My
you know-
grandmother just said, "Is it going to take much longer?" No, just kidding.
John,
grandma said, "Take them."
in the picture you had the trumpet vine, and in my backyard I have trumpet vines that all the hummingbirds come to visit.
Yes.
So
Isn't that
it's
crazy?
like I have your gardenia
This-
here, you got the trumpet vine. Yeah.
This took me
Never
2
mind.
days. I started yesterday. I finished it today.
Oh my God, that's beautiful.
But it was funny with this COVID. I have inspiration one after another, and honestly, I get so overwhelmed, and I hear voices when I dream.
Mm.
But I thank God. I thank God every day that I'm able to do this.
Yeah.
I think we're so fortunate to have this in our culture, because I think I also see now how Dia de los Muertos is so much for us. It helps us
Exactly.
deal with death, that we don't fear it like that, and that we can accept it, and that we can
Exactly.
celebrate it, and then connect with our ancestors. Because the more you talk about Dia de los Muertos, do you notice there's a lot of people that have a lot of fear towards it, and they don't
Exactly.
understand it.
Exactly. But it's funny because a woman came up to my booth. She goes, "I think your artwork's hideous." Okay, well, let me tell you why I do this. I do this because my sister passed away, my grandmother passed away. I do this because I put their heart and their soul into my artwork. And all of a sudden, she started talking about her son being killed. And then she's like, of course, she lost her son. And all of a sudden, we just became friends. And she gave me a big hug. As we talked to her for an hour and a half or 2 hours, and she realized it's important to remember that they're with us all the time.
Yeah.
I think once people really understand the meaning of it and
Exactly.
why you do it, then they're a little bit more open-minded about things. It's just people are just so quick to judge about something right away and not know.
And I
the
come at
story
those
behind it.
quite a few
Yeah.
times.
Yeah.
Quite a few
So,
times.
We all have.
Yeah, when I had my solo exhibit on, and it did have a section that showed like the picture that I showed of the burial, and
Mhm.
it was maybe it was a lot to see, if it's a new topic for you,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
someone left my exhibit, but I thought that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
Right?
That's okay.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
But you know what? I think that's the best kind of art is when
Yes.
you really someone
You made an impact.
Yeah, you did.
Yes,
Even if it's
yes.
positive or negative, like
Mhm.
you affected that person in some way that they reacted this way.
Mhm.
And I've had places where they've taken down my paintings because they were offended by them, and I was
Hello.
like, I know, right? Yeah, you too.
Crazy.
So
Yes,
has
yes.
you know, everywhere.
They find it
happens.
offensive. One
And
woman
at
tore her
first-
down. She should have said, you always paint skinny women. It's like, you don't even know they're full figure or anything. Are you serious?
That makes me laugh. Sorry.
It made me laugh. But she kept, it was like a constant, like 5 or 6 times she'll come back to my booth. You just paint fat women, like, no, skinny women. Hold on. And I had to tell her off. Do not ever come back to my booth again. Because I felt that evilness. Like you, Roberta, me and you understand? I felt it. She didn't want to understand it. I'm sorry, Leela.
That's okay. Let me get to these.
My girl's out of place.
Let me get to these quotes real quick. So Yoli says, "Thank you for sharing your experience around." And Darla says, "Yes, it's been around since ancient time. Yes, for a long, long time before the Spanish, before everybody."
More than
right?
that.
Yeah. And so, yes, thank you for that too. This year we should honor those who passed away from COVID, which is a very ongoing, fluid situation, you know.
Exactly.
And these are the people that probably should be here still too, which is sad too in our own.
Because our government.
Whatever.
We could have. Yeah, lots of dreams have gone. Lots of everything, have gone. So. And Cherie says, "Thank you, Ruben. I had the opportunity to build an altar at the brick house for 3 years. I chose a 7-tier layer altar representing the 7 sorrows Marie went through raising her son." There you go. And you want to read this, Leela? It's a long one.
Oh, I think what Darla was saying is that at what point do we accept something as Mexican or as something imposed onto the culture Mexican? We all embrace Dia de los Muertos, but what is it originally Mexican? The world seems to think it is. That's because the world doesn't know that it's not just Mexican.
Exactly.
Because my husband's Filipino and the Philippines celebrate Dia de los Muertos as well, And it's our job.
Well, they have a different way to celebrate it.
To inform other people, teach them. It's all our jobs to be teachers and teach everyone about our culture.
Right.
Yeah.
And for this, especially for this, there is no really one answer too.
And
because
and I don't think there should be one answer.
Nice.
It should be all spread out. Everybody has their own thing. It's not just,
but it's celebrated worldwide. Indonesia, they'll take like their bodies out of the graves and just like celebrate them.
Yeah. So Martha's best kind of. I think we're talking about the one where I think the lady was talking about you, John.
Right.
COVID's crazy, yes.
It is.
Victor says, "I went to an old Catholic cemetery, but I didn't feel anything. It's a nice park now. My grandmother's sister, Consuela Gallegos, is there. She died as a little girl from the Spanish, which is..."
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
For the Spanish flu, yes. My grandmother was second oldest of 25 kids.
Wow.
And she moved to Arizona when she was about 17. And she told me a lot of her sisters and brothers died from illness, and I know it's from the Spanish flu. Isn't that crazy?
That is.
Well, yeah. And like I said, we'd like to thank everybody. I'm going to thank everybody again.
Yes, thank you.
And actually, I want to thank you too, because, this was an open forum, an artist chat, and I'm glad that you guys are great people and great energy. And that's what we want to, represent ourselves too as people and people with feelings and, all that other stuff. Could you imagine a day in Sacramento without any ethnic food? If we took yes, it would be very bland, and just like with the artwork. So we should put artwork out there.
That's why we need more culture in Sacramento. That's why we have the placita. That's why I have the mural, just to bring everybody together. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's see. We have hello. Hey, Patrice, how you doing? They'll be
Hi, Teresa.
Teresa will be displaying some artwork on K Street in Old Sacramento, and then she said, "Hey, oh look, there's something, you're being called out." Yes.
Okay, shots.
Thank you.
Cruz, I don't think you're on the. I don't think that Cruz. That man had this thing. Cruz, I don't think we have. I don't think you're on the list.
Yeah. So this is.
Salud.
This is Salud, yeah. Give me 1 second.
Salud. Here we go. I'm waiting.
Like This hold on one second.
I need more.
This is
I Oh, you want some?
Oh
Oh, ay, está vacío.
no! I got a little bit.
That's all right. Salud.
Can you pour me
Salud.
some?
salute
Salud,
everybody.
salud.
And salute everybody.
But this is fun. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. And we like to say everybody, we love you out there.
Thank you, Jasmine. Yes.
Amy, actually, I'm going to pull up something because this to me says it all. And I respect when I saw the documentary a little bit more. If you watch the documentary, watch the Walter Mercado documentary because he is incredibly, yeah. So mucho amor.
Mucho amor.
I love that.
So and I grew up, like I said, watching the tail end, and my mom would watch them and stuff like that. It's stuff that warms your heart, right? Because
Exactly.
stuff like that sometimes you don't really know, but it's like, oh, I've been in Puerto Mercado, and like you just feel the sense of like my mom watching it, my parents watching it. I had to watch Los Hermanos Coraje. I'm like, because my dad came here, and we had to watch everything in Spanish TV until the end, even and it was Los Hermanos Coraje. It was like all these telenovelas, and I was like, all right, cool, but then you go back and you kind of reminisce, right? You reminisce.
Yeah.
I remember my mom and her, my tias making tamales, and I was a little curled up in a little ball, didn't want to go to sleep because I thought something cool was happening, and it was cool, but I couldn't stay up. But but things like that with our smells and food and artwork and all the stuff that we are should be proud to be Mexican descent, and also for indigenous descent too, because I know that there's a big issue down there, right? So I like I said, so I think that it's great because I know that I went down to find my roots, and find my indigenous roots was hard because no one really claimed them down there. So I had to go search more and go higher up the mountain to try to find, so I do think that people who are born here who've never been to Mexico, I think you'll be surprised when you go down there, because for me, I always tell my blood boils, my blood goes to my heart, my blood starts to get warm and it starts burning, and then it goes to my heart, and then I'm like, oh, I'm back, not knowing why, so but and Dia de Los Muertos is one of those ones that is universal, right? It's different people have it, so we have to accept the fact that I think we accept. I am for one am a person that will accept the fact that Americans want to learn about it, because a lot of Americans are lost for when it comes to the afterlife and death and all that stuff, where they just bury people and forget about them.
It's just very sad.
Yeah. So, but anyways, besides that, go ahead.
Maybe, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Maybe just like if with something like this in the culture, we will honor our elders, our grandparents more, because right now in COVID times they're acting like they're dispensable or something.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? Yes.
That means we need to fix something going on here.
And you're right about that too, and also like, let's not honor just the people that passed, but let's honor the people that are here and that taught us that too, right? Because we always have this thing about like, oh my God, they were so good, like even, he was such a great person. I'm like, okay, why didn't you tell them when they were there?
Right.
It's hard.
One thing about politicians say, oh, the elders are willing to risk their life for this COVID. Like, did you ask them? Did you ask them? No.
Elders have a very important job to do. They need to share with us. We need our elders. We need to, and they're
exactly.
Yeah.
Every life is precious. Every life, regardless how old you are.
Yeah.
It's precious.
And that's what's so nice about Mexico is you do see a lot of just out elders, like the grandmas, the grandpas. They're out. Yeah.
That's one thing about Coco, the movie Coco, that was produced by Disney. Every single time I'm saying, I'm not going to cry, I'm going to cry. You remember when Miguel singing the song to Coco?
Yeah.
Because my grandmother, because she raised me, and she couldn't remember like 6 weeks before she died. But then it's also he starts singing that song, and she woke up like it was. I cry every single time, no matter how many times I saw it.
Right now, so.
Right now, I'm like,
Yeah, I'm gonna try thinking about it.
I know.
Cruz says
it's
hello.
nice. I
And
feel
then,
like our culture has more respect for our elders.
Thank you.
At
It
least
was
I
good
know in my
seeing you the other
family,
day.
It's a lot like that.
Okay.
We don't ever disrespect our elders.
Never.
At all.
Never.
Ever. I never.
And you never could
disrespect
ignore them
parents.
because they're gonna
Oh, God.
slap you with a
I'd be
changua.
terrified. Even to this
Yes.
day.
Or
I
the
would never-
cinto.
I won't
Yeah.
even cuss
Oh, yeah.
in front of my parents.
No, I won't cuss either. Yeah.
Or you have to go to the yard and get a branch from the palo verde.
I know.
No.
Yes,
Oh,
that's
don't put it
the worst
and don't put a
feeling.
TV guide in your butt. It doesn't work.
those are Palo Santos, right?
That's how old school I am. I'm
Yeah.
serious. I tried that one time. My grandma looked at me, mijo, seriously? That's.
You were bad. I never got hit because I was always really good.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
No.
Denial.
I was not
That was
physically
Leela. That
abused.
wasn't a
It was all
hug.
mental abuse.
You got your
Yeah,
tongue.
baby.
I'm like,
I'm
Oh.
so scared.
yeah.
I was a bad kid.
When they do that, when they were trying to give the tamales, they were actually throwing at you.
You thought they were
Yeah.
tamales
If
or
you talk
changuas?
to my mom,
Yeah.
she'll tell you what
There you go. That's a
terrible
zapato.
person
That's
I
not a
am.
tamale.
They were botas.
Yeah. So Jose says,
Oh my
"Great
God, this
work.
was fun. This was
Yeah.
fun. Oh my God.
Great work, artistas."
Jose.
Yes. Thank you, Jose, for asking questions.
Thank you.
That's
Thank
great.
you.
You know, and also asking those traditional questions because, like I said, that got us in that conversation. This is what we love about this forum is that we let everyone you to ask us those questions as much as me asking questions. You
Yeah.
know, because I think people, you know, you get what you want. Maria said yes, and I believe that was from the other day. Thank you for sharing your stories. Thank you, Rosanna. And we're gonna do this is volume 2. We skipped volume 1 just to make sure it's good.
Victor, hello.
Yeah, Victor. Yeah, thank you, man. And all Sun says, well, yes.
Teresa.
Jasmine, I'm crying right now. Perfect. And I got a grandma a few hundred feet from me. Really close to, yeah. And that's, you know, and that too.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
you know, and also, you know, California was Mexico. So, so you know, what I mean,
Right.
we have-
Hello.
yeah.
Yeah.
And other parts
Go
too.
back where you were. I'm here.
I feel, don't you feel connected?
You didn't go back over there.
Yeah. So, anyways,
You know how many times I got that
All right, I
tells
don't
me
wanna
that?
cry-
Like,
yeah.
seriously?
it's, you know, once I get 3 mezcals and I become revolutionary. So I'm like,
I start hearing the voices like Charlie Brown.
yeah.
Wow, 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 wow.
So
Oh,
this is the best song.
girl, do you have a curl in the middle of your
A
face,
true
or you have
culture
to push
experience.
it?
I love
Yeah.
this. That is so true because it sounds like when my parents come over, we're just like, and I don't know.
Oh, it goes one ear out the other. Yes.
I really don't know how we have a conversation, but it happens, and that's just how it goes.
And I saw
And then
that.
once they leave, it's all
When the
dead
event,
quiet.
you had an event at the Yuba Cedar or something, your parents were there. I'm like, no, it was Vallejo. Wasn't it Vallejo or something?
No, and Yuba, it was just
Yeah.
they've only gone to.
I
the
was
one-
watching. I'm like, oh, she's doing what I'm doing. Girl, you're gonna pay for it. Okay, uno más. Salud.
Yes. And Martha says, please do it again. I think she said, please do a shot again, I think, but I'm not quite sure.
All right, hold
It
on.
says- So many,
I'm
so many
done.
artists in there. You notice how it's gotten looser at the end. So like
Yeah.
we're 5 shots in. So, anyways, who,
We should probably
who are we
turn
up?
off.
Yeah, who was up next?
Wait, my color is not right. I had to get Sephora. Hold on. It
I
was fun.
believe,
Roberta, it's a pleasure meeting you. I love your photographs. It is very
Thank you.
emotional.
Yes, it was so
Thank
nice.
Oh,
you.
Leela,
We're not done yet, John.
He's already saying his goodbyes.
Oh no, I said.
I have
how
a limo here. I'm going to Las Vegas. Shut up, bitch.
No, I
I'm
got my-
kidding. No.
I got my Uber back to my
Uber. What is that?
I know, right? There's another one. Here's cheers to all of you again. So
Oh, hold on. Let me get my bottle.
yeah, you had your bottle there.
I got my bottle of water.
See,
My
I,
bottle of water.
I was
Yeah.
was-
It's
Simple, right?
essential. It's
Yeah.
agave juice.
yeah, and we like to thank everybody out there. We like to thank the
And I
lucky-
drink and I do lime shots to fight the scurvies.
Oh,
I thought you were gonna say to fight COVID.
That too. Scurvies. I don't like scurvies. I was in a ship long time ago. Scurvies are not cute.
See?
Okay,
Oh.
one more. Una más.
She said
Una
another.
más.
Salud, salud, salud.
Mm.
I
No
love
más.
your crow feathers.
Thank you.
Más.
Hey, look, Lupita's here.
What?
Hola,
What?
Lupita.
Hi, Lopita. Saludos.
Yeah.
Girl,
Abrazos,
I'm
besos.
wearing your earrings.
See, Yoli says we needed.
Lopita.
Lupita.
Ah, nice. I like your earrings.
Lupita makes these earrings.
Oh, I need
Oh,
Oh.
I love 'em. I
You
have
gotta
like
get me earrings so I can fashion them for you.
earrings.
some.
Yeah.
You can get like special ones. You need ones that say John
I do.
Huerta on them.
Oh, what?
No, I'm fabulous.
Whatever.
I'm gonna find Lupita on Facebook. Hold on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
she's great.
Lupita's
She has
really
a beautiful heart. Beautiful heart. Yeah.
Okay.
I miss you,
Lupita-
girl.
Lupita and I met
I know I
in
miss you, Lupita.
well, we didn't actually meet, but
Talk to me. I wanted those earrings.
Oh, thank you. It's called headphones.
so Lupita and I made Lupita eat
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Again.
She's a
Okay,
great-
that's my last shot.
Perfect.
Last shot of
Oh, no,
water.
no. There's one more at the end, but
All right, hold on.
it's a good night shot.
Is this from
No.
earlier? You keep showing that one.
Oh, yeah,
I know, right?
You know what,
Salute.
guys? I love this. I love this.
yeah. And this is artists getting loose at the end of the night. So,
Getting loose.
but, you
Next
know,
time,
That's how
Ruben.
we are when we're bending.
Next time, Ruben, I'm gonna dress like Patti LaBelle.
good.
You're gonna be jealous.
Please.
Yeah, see,
Dude.
Victor said take
Oh,
shots from
take
him.
some
He's in
shots
San
from me.
Diego.
Yes.
Look at
I
all
already
these
did, Victor. I already did.
Uno's looks for
Oh,
John.
Oh,
yes.
thank
Is he
you.
handsome? Oh.
I know. So natural. What?
So, real quick about Lupita, I
And these are my teeth.
so we
I'm
So-
sorry. I have a good sense of humor.
you're having fun. That's what we're here for, right? It's not gonna be a snobby artist thing, right? It's like a Mexican loose one.
It is almost over.
It's okay.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I'm done. Where's my agent?
yeah, where's Pancho at? Right?
He's out partying somewhere.
I told him not to get John past 9:25 because he's gonna get loose. Right. Okay, so
You
we're gonna
don't
bring
see
up.
me then.
Yeah, we're gonna bring up Leela's.
I love everything.
So Leela, let's take it.
Leela, I love your talk.
Oh, Leela stopped us around here too. Let's bring up your artwork, Leela. Explain this.
Oh, goodness. Oh, girl,
Oh, where's this at?
This is
you gotta make that in my bathroom door in my house.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Leela,
Right away.
But there's no girls here.
This is at La Cosecha. in
Oh my
Wow.
goodness. Those are amazing.
Yeah, park. Yeah. So the owner asked me if I could do a Day of the Dead paintings on the men and
Ernesto
women's
Delgado,
bathroom door.
yes.
Yeah, and I was like, yeah, sure. So I actually did this one this year. I think when
Beautiful,
was it?
beautiful.
May.
I saw
When I
that.
was
I saw
working
that.
on
Yeah,
Yeah, I think I did some live with it too when I was
Mhm.
first painting it.
you did.
And that was fun.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Thanks, Lupita. Yeah, and
Very beautiful.
they actually let us bring the doors home because I was like, I'm not going nowhere. It's COVID.
Mm.
So I was like, I'll
Are
take it.
they easily detachable?
Oh my God, no! Those things
Oh.
are metal doors. Oh
Are
my
you
God.
sure?
So Randy had to like. I had to take those things out of the truck. They
Oh,
were heavy.
really?
They were so heavy.
Wow.
Wow.
Because I had to get them in the backyard so we could sand them down and then spray
Interesting.
a white on it before I could
Mhm.
paint on them, make a primer. And it was scary putting them back in the truck because we were so scared it was going to scratch the painting somehow.
But wasn't
So
it challenging?
Yeah, that part
And-
was. The painting.
Yes, but you
part
did a
was
great job.
easy,
Great
but the
job.
loading
Great
it
job.
was
so
So
Victor,
how
Victor,
about-
yeah,
so
Victor
how
wants to
was
know.
the loading up?
I have magic hands, Victor.
I have two. I have really big empty walls here. So are they easily removable?
Easily
Yeah,
removable.
take them on there. Tell Ernesto.
Thanks,
I'm taking
Ruben.
notes here.
You can bring it to my house. I'll paint it for you.
Okay, great.
That's the deal.
So Leela, how long did they take to make?
Oh my gosh! So they gave me like a 2-week.
What?
I was like,
What?
They said,
Are
okay,
you
we're
serious?
opening in 2 weeks, and we need these done by 2 weeks because we were.
Oh
remodeling
my
bathrooms." And I was
God.
like, are you kidding me? And this was already after I had told them yes. I thought I was gonna have like the summer to work on them, like a few months,
Uh-huh.
not 2 weeks.
What?
The girl.
That's
I
crazy.
felt like the girl took me longer than the boy.
Mhm.
Just cause and then after I painted her, I was like, I kind of want to keep her. Can you just stay? And then I started on the guy one right away, and I was like, okay. But for him, it's a profile face, so I think that's why it didn't take so long, because I didn't have to do like the whole face. But yeah, it still took a while. But I got him done within the 2 weeks. I got him done like a day early from the 2-week mark.
Wow,
And I
did
was
you
like, yes,
sleep?
I did it.
Did you sleep in for those 2 weeks? That's incredible.
That's a lot of
And I was sewing
time.
masks at the same time. No. Yeah, it was hard. It was kind of hard. Like whenever I could work on it, I would work on it. But I remember there were some days like the weather was just bad, and I was working on them outside. So if the weather was really bad, that made it challenging too.
Yeah. You wear the pens?
What?
Did you wear the pens?
Yeah, because I'm doing surgery, dude. So yeah, it was
Oh,
fun.
right.
I
Well,
had
that's
fun
good.
making them.
They're beautiful. They're beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Very
Thank you.
beautiful.
So now which is the men's and the women's?
I know, right? Yeah, they remodeled their whole bathroom, so I still
Really?
haven't
Good.
seen them in person. Like my
Wow.
husband took them over there, and then they installed them, and he took this picture, or he took
Oh,
pictures of
it's
them. I was
beautiful.
like, oh, okay.
Beautiful work.
I know what they
Leela,
look like up.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I still need to go over there and see them in person.
I'm very impressed.
Those are
Thank
beautiful.
you.
Yeah.
You do amazing eyes.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Wow.
Can you do mine?
Let me do your makeup.
I know.
Look. Yeah.
Sephora.
Feathers. Yes.
I'll make
here's
your
my-
eyes pop.
Yeah. Okay. Can you make my hair
You
not
like,
so
you
frizzy?
like the cat's eyes.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can
So-
do your hair too. I learned how to cut a little bit.
Oh, great.
I haven't cut my hair since COVID, so it's been 6
No,
months.
me neither.
I did. I
Oh,
cut mine the
no.
other day.
Me neither.
It
No.
actually came out
Yeah.
all right.
I used to
Yeah.
have bangs.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
I know. So yeah. So how?
I'm not brave enough to do it myself.
No. I
Just
see
do
really
like a
shitty
tiny bit
jobs.
at a time. That's the trick. You don't do like a whole inch. Like you gotta go little by little.
Thank
I
you.
don't know about that.
No.
Really?
Not gonna try it.
Yeah, not me either.
No.
So that's good though.
No.
We'd like to thank everybody for coming out. We are, we're running the way we run, and but we like, there's people still here, so it's
Mexican
great.
time.
Mexican time. We're a little bit. We're 1 minute late. 4
We're
hours.
still dancing the
behind, right?
cumbia.
Yeah. So no, but we like to thank everyone for coming out, and I really like to thank you
Yes,
guys for coming
definitely.
out.
Thank
I'd like
you.
to thank the Latino Center of the Arts and
Yeah.
Culture for letting us coming up. Well, undo the show too, and remember to go to the. Let me get to the Pantheon because we really want people to go there and to get there. And let me play. I want to play something because it is a PSA that I want to get going on because of what's going on. So for Spanish
Mm.
speakers, yes.
Math? Yes.
So the music needs to go. But,
Muy importante.
sí.
Mm.
Para todos.
Para
Everybody
todos.
needs a mask. I have a mask. Can't really
Ah.
I got some new fabric.
Okay.
I got a bat if you don't follow the instructions.
So it's all very good stuff.
Yes.
Just remember to wear a mask. I mean,
You know
Yes.
what we need
Yeah.
to do with everything that's going on right now, and then the way some states are opening up and stuff, we really just need to know.
Florida.
Yeah.
Florida.
We're
we need-
on our own.
Are you serious?
we need to close the border. Yeah.
No, we're,
Build a wall, California wall. I love it.
Kill California wall.
Who's going to pay for it?
Hello.
The red states. The red states. No kidding.
The red states. No, we need to be careful and just continue being careful because right now they're like trying to pretend as if we don't have to be as
Nothing's
regimented.
happened. Exactly.
Yeah,
So-
and no, it's happening full fledged.
So
So, and it's
everybody
only
out
going to get
there-
worse.
Yes, and everybody out there, Roberta is not schooled me, but taught me some things about safety, and and she knows
But
a
this
lot about
COVID
it.
is no joke.
Yeah,
I had
and
I'm an alumni from Arizona State. There's like 1,100 students that are positive COVID-19, and it's spreading still. This is Arizona, Republican state. So
so what are the top things? Wash your hands, social distance, wear a mask.
And be careful. Don't go indoors. Don't go.
Yeah.
Don't go sit at a restaurant even when they open. When they say the restaurants are open for indoor seating, don't go indoors. Don't do it.
No.
It's airborne. So look up airborne.
But if it's a Trump rally, that's okay. I'm sorry. I said out loud. I had to have it think out loud. I'm sorry.
And I did get my
Stay
first
away from everybody else. And
Yes, exactly.
and I got my first shot
But
yesterday.
seriously, everybody have to be safe. Everybody,
Yeah.
regardless. We're all
because-
here together. We have to fight this, regardless if federal's not going to mandate it. We have to be here to work for just to protect one another.
Yeah.
we do.
My partner, he has heart disease and diabetes.
Yeah.
It's no joke.
Yeah.
No joke. I had a friend from Facebook. I didn't even know she died.
Yeah.
Sorry, my earrings fell out. But she died 2 months ago. She had a battle with COVID 2 months.
Oh man.
Yeah.
It was a
I've
good
had
friend
my-
from Facebook, and I like what? It was just a shock.
Well, I've had friends, their families passed away, so it for me it's like I don't want to get anybody sick. I don't
Right.
for myself. I would feel bad if that ever happened. If I went to a
Right.
function and all of a sudden I got people sick and they passed away. I'm an empath. I don't. It would be too much for me to handle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and I think people need to realize that I do care about you. I care about your family. I mean,
Yeah,
you may
it's
not.
not just
And
about
people that
us,
don't
it's
wear.
about everybody.
Yeah,
And
people
when
that don't
about
wear
the
masks.
same-
They may not care. They may not care about my family, but
COVID-19 could be
yeah.
spread other ways besides the droplets.
yeah.
Scary.
So anyway, so that was our So really take care of yourself out there, and we'll come back. So I think I'm next, right?
Are you?
Yeah.
Who are you?
I'm Ruben Reveles.
Oh.
We're also watching Puerto, but that's another show. But anyway, so these are two shots from Oaxaca. These are two. Usually, I'm walking around really late at night, probably about 3 a.m, because everything's kind of just goes till then. Goes to all the way through the night. But these two shots I came upon around that time in the morning, probably by the churches. So these are both taken by the churches and by women who are dressed up in their outfits. One of them I've seen a couple years in a row. She's really, the way she does it is really cool. And they're very, so I'm going to bring them up anyways. So they are right here.
Ah, beautiful. Wow.
And they really,
God, that heart is gorgeous.
Or both
yeah.
of them.
That's so
Beautiful. So intricate.
So, and I love their, like I said, I love their
I want that
creativity.
one.
So
Can I have that one on the left there? That's mine.
I want both.
my left or your left?
I want.
I want both.
My
Yeah.
left.
I want both.
Wow.
And and sometimes I have to admit, sometimes I'm not a very good photographer. I'm a more gritty photographer, so I don't know my settings because dyslexia gets me that way. So sometimes I'll mess up on them, and I'll just have to treat them differently. And that's a lot of ways why I do that because,
Beautiful.
yeah. But it gives them a different, a different feel to them too, and that's what I'm going for is the feel of it. Yeah.
I love the
I'm
French
like up
black
and
and
close on my
white.
screen right here, like trying to see like all the details.
Yeah.
I love the way they always embody how they're dressed. They always embody it all day long.
Yeah. And it is. You're right. It's the like the one on like the both of them. I should say they're both stoic looks and like
Mhm.
they look like I don't know if they're alive or not. So to speak.
Yeah.
It's almost an in between.
The
Thank
black
you,
and white.
Teresa.
But they're both beautiful. It's
Thank
evenly
you, Caroline. Yeah. So and like I said, these are always taken very, very late in the night because I like to get away from the crowd
gorgeous.
and
Yes.
outlast everybody.
Gorgeous.
But yeah, so these are two, and also you can't go wrong with the background of an old church in Mexico.
Oh, I know.
You know, just
Never.
Nice.
yeah. So you know, whether you believe it or not, but the structures are very beautiful, and they're very
Yeah.
old. So, but
Mexico is beautiful.
yeah,
It's
it
a
is.
very visual country. It's
Yeah.
visually beautiful country.
And I thought what Mexico exports more is more EQ, right? It's more like culture, food. I mean, all the stuff that basically America's missing too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Way of life. You see people, when I went down to Juchitán after the earthquakes, people were offering me food. I'm like, no, you have, your house is crumbled down. It's like,
That's just the way they are.
yeah, and
Yeah.
they're because they're used to adversity. They're used to something happening and taking care of themselves, which is a community, and they take care of themselves as a community because that's just how they are. So, and I think that's kind of the spirit within ourselves. So there is something to go with your own culture and your if you can channel that, that's great because it is we have a lot of distractions here in America. To be like, oh, I don't want to do that. I don't want to check that out. But sooner or later, I think, because as I got older, the more I needed to go to Mexico. When I was younger, I was like, no, fuck that. I was like, I'm gonna, But as I got older, and I think I see this with a lot of people, because there's a piece of themselves that's lost, and you got to
Yeah.
get, and then you become whole, right? It's a
Yeah.
journey within yourself. So that's what I think myself is. Thank you, Yoli. But I
I
also,
agree.
yeah, just to add to the culture. Yeah, it's true, Victor. It's like you do have to go, and I wish, honestly, I wish I would have known this when I was younger, but it still wasn't. It wasn't going to happen because you start knowing things when you start knowing things. But now, I'm like, I want to know about every tradition, every indigenous part of Mexico that I can be. Even when I got my DNA, I was 54% indigenous, and I was like, I always knew it, right?
Yeah.
Spanish, African, Jewish, all this stuff that Mexico, and all those people that went in Mexico, right? That took over Mexico, that conquered Mexico, that was staying there, but you're still in the very heart and core of everything. You're still indigenous, and that's where you come from, even though there's a lot of Spanish and other stuff that I never really felt that connected to myself. So, but yeah, so that's that. So. And again, thank you to everybody for coming out. We are probably going to head out soon because we're at the hour and 45 minutes song. But I do want to say, yeah,
I could talk for hours.
Maybe we'll go for a little bit longer. Anybody out there have any questions for us? We're here for you. And yes, we are artists, so we're not scientists. We do things from our heart, right? And sometimes we're wrong, but most of the times we're not.
We're not scientists. Are you serious?
No, we're not. We see things the way we see things, and that's the beauty of art.
But it's true.
Yeah.
But it all comes down to it's our heart, our soul, and everything we put into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and that's kind of like I said, you put your heart and your soul into something, and a lot of us are trying to find ourselves, right? Trying to find our own cultures, our own stuff. I still don't know what indigenous part I am, because there's so many indigenous people in Mexico. I mean, even how the Americas were, right? But unfortunately, they got taken out.
There's just so many. White people just took over all this land here in the Americas.
Yeah.
My grandpa was a Yaqui Indian. He was a medicine man.
Yeah.
Oh, your grandpa?
Yeah.
My grandpa's Yaqui too.
Shut up. Hold on. I gotta take another shot. Hold on.
There's a song that says I'm a Yaqui.
Grandfathers. Salud.
No, seriously, he was a medicine man.
Yeah.
Mm.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah, he was
That's
a Yaqui.
beautiful. That's amazing. Mm-hmm.
But seriously.
Have you guys, have you heard of epigenetics? Right. That's traumas and memories through DNA. Right.
Yeah.
And so that's what I'm also into too. So I'm looking at my family and going, okay, well, we come from the conquered, right? The conquered people. So that goes through your genetics, and that goes through your memories and all that stuff, and brings you to the moment of now. So, but it's interesting because, like you said, your grandpa is Yaqui, which also means that you get the good stuff too, right? You get all the good information through your DNA, and also, and maybe your art is healing art, right? Maybe people, this is what we do. We heal with our art.
Yeah.
It's just a different energy, right?
Do you think that to us and our attraction to Dia de los Muertos is us working out and processing our relation to death? Because it sounds like Ruben and John, you had both said, and I also had a lot of experience young, and I also work. I'm a healthcare worker.
Yeah.
So I also am dealing with that all the time.
Yeah.
But see, that would make you a healer. You know what I mean?
Well,
Just
it's
in a different
funny.
time.
My
You know what
mother
I
being about 4. Cause it's funny, like simple things in life. I remember when I wanted to have a flat screen computer monitor, and something keep on telling me, it's like, just wait, just wait, just wait. And I never spoke to my mother before. I can't remember her voice or anything. I remember taking the trash when I was living in the apartment in Citrus Heights. There was a monitor sitting right there. And I remember I took it to my apartment, and it worked.
Yeah.
That's why my heart is so humble, because I know she's here protecting me.
Yeah.
And just fighting everything that's trying to just overboard me. Seriously.
Yeah.
And that's why I feel spirits. I feel spirits sometimes, Roberta. I remember one time walking to some friend's house, and I walk in there. It's like, oh, okay, because she was moving out of the apartment. Okay, there's somebody else in here, and she goes, "Are you serious?" Yeah, there's some gentleman here. But it didn't scare me because I knew it. I knew it.
Yeah.
But that's a gift, and I accept that. But for my mother, she has a sense of humor like I do.
Yeah. And I think the more people you ask about that, you're more open about that, you'll see that there's a lot of people like that. They're like, oh, I didn't want to say anything because people think I'm crazy. I'm like, no, you're not crazy. You're just open. Right?
Give me a straight jacket. I'm fine.
Yeah.
I don't worry about sounding crazy anymore. So much.
No, I am crazy.
I love
I'm
you,
good.
Roberta.
What are you gonna lose?
3 shots in, Roberta's
It
like,
is what it is.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. Salud.
Hold on. Fresh class. Hello.
Salud. Salud.
Leila's a driver, I think.
Come in extra.
Leila's
Oh,
the
my
designated
goodness,
driver.
please.
I'm talking about your blouse.
I'll get you guys home safe. Don't worry.
So let
I'll
me
be calling you later.
let me get to Victor's question real quick, because I really think that he says, I need to get a DNA test. I'm missing out on Native American talk. I'm sure you have to. I mean, I would, yeah, just because you get to see what you got to. It's almost like a part of a puzzle to yourself, right? You find out what you are, and what you do with the pieces. You go explore where you're going to go find, and it's a beautiful journey. And I wish I had that technology when I was younger with that stuff 20 years ago.
Oh no!
What we have now, because then
that's how I found my half sister from my father's side, Nellie, who was my best friend. Yeah, exactly. And my brother Steve, Juan, and my nephew Eddie. I lost my sister back on May 24th, 1999. I thought that was the last sibling ever, because she was only my sister. But my life became more living because I had them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Teresa said they're all of us. They're here with us. Absolutely.
Exactly.
Totally do. Yeah.
Yes.
I think one of the things that I feel really fortunate about also is that I feel like because of our culture is so open to spirits that we embrace it rather than so we can see and we can be intuitive versus closing that part off of us out of fear, I think.
Yeah.
So it's just natural, I mean, I was raised with it.
But one thing I noticed too, that I can feel the evil and I will fight it. Like you can't give into the evil. And for a perfect example, I remember when I used to live in an apartment at Citrus Heights. I woke up and I saw this evil face in the corner of the dark room, my room. I woke up, I was willing to fight it, and it went away. Gosh. I never saw it again. Because the evil do not like.
They don't like strength.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You have to like stand up to them and confront them. And sometimes in your own house, you have to, I know this sounds weird, but you have to be like,
Oh,
go,
exactly.
get out.
Mhm.
This is my house. And to claim your space.
Oh, I got my
Yeah.
little sage.
I
Always.
watch this
I have
paranormal
it too.
live every single day.
Yeah.
I'm with you, Roberta. I hear it, I feel it. They're not allowed in my house. They're not around me.
So I used to let them in, and because I mean, my mom has told me since I was young that I was very intuitive, and she is also, that's where I get it from. And so I kind of think for Dia de los Muertos is kind of training us in that way also, because come and visit and then go home.
Yeah.
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 So Rebecca said, I heard a poem once. We Mexicans love our dead, so thankful for Dia de los Muertos. Which is
Yeah.
true. I mean, I don't know anybody's grandma that didn't, right?
Right.
So, and like I said, I've had so many different kind of like experiences that were strange when I was a kid with my mom and my aunts and all this stuff that were not necessarily Mexican, but they were more indigenous style stuff.
Yeah.
So, but it's weird to have to kind of equate the Spanish and then the ancestral parts of ourselves too.
Exactly.
So if it's a beautiful thing too, you can't negate one for the other. I know some Mexicans identify with their European roots more too, right? Especially in the bigger cities. And indigenous are not treated very well in Mexico either. So that's another thing. So that, from my experience down there too, I've come across when I go to the little towns or the little pueblos up there, and they still practice their old religions up there too. They just hide it. So and so it's just very interesting. Mexico's very beautiful, complex. You have to go down there and see it. So or feel it. So and Cherise says, I often tell my answer, don't charge. So my kitchen's a bit messy today. Get off my back. Yeah, see, sometimes spirits are annoying. They really are.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if the spirits are here where you live in their own cities or their house or our house.
Yeah.
Right.
In
So
their own cities or our house.
Yeah.
Meaning, do they stay where they were, where they passed? No, like they travel. They come and visit.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. And that's what like I said, when I go to in Oaxaca now, I don't necessarily go to the cemeteries anymore. I mean, I do in the daytime, like when they're starting to set up everything else. But I realize that, that's kind of, or especially if I'm showing someone, that's cool. But now I just feel everybody around me. So that's all I care about. I feel like my family's here, even though they're not from Oaxaca and they're from up north. I just feel like this is where I'm at with everybody. I'm going to run into someone I know, even though I don't know them, but they'll feel familiar in their physical form. So, and I think that's what happens when, if you really, as a community, it's almost like a community of peace. If everybody thinks about peace and everybody meditates on peace, something's going to happen beautiful, right?
Never will be forgotten. Never.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Christianity forced them into something they didn't want to believe.
Yeah.
That's where, yeah.
But yeah, we were so strong in our indigenous culture that they had to blend it to be accepted,
So, and that's all good too, I guess, as we're at now. So it's kind of hard to fight something that that's so long ago too. And you have to find, it's almost like, I'll take this. My dad was abusive. He was a drunk, he was all this stuff that you didn't want to have. But in the end, well, actually not the end yet. I found I forgave him for what he did, right? And if you forgive people, I think that is the biggest, like really forgive people or forgive, it's hard to do that, but I'm just talking about my experience. But if you're able to forgive people, you will be able to lift something off your soul that you never thought was so heavy, right? But also you'll be able to see what other parts of them were good. So you don't see yourself as being, I'm going to be a jerk, right? This is my dad. Because I only had one person. My mom died when I was born, so I only had one person to see what I was going to be like, and that was him. And I was like, I am going to be a good person. I'm going to, so that's why I went into Eastern philosophy.
You got to be strong.
Yeah, right. And so, but in the end, when I forgave him and all this stuff, I realized, hey, he's actually kind of funny. and he's actually got a personality, right? So, and my mom was more indigenous, my dad was more Spanish looking, and a lot of the traits that I, from what I understand, I brought with my mom, right? And these are the things with us, there is a lot of not very good history with the Mexican culture because we were conquered. We were basically conquered people, right? And colonized and what you want to say, but there's also a lot of beautiful things too that we can really look forward to because the past is kind of the past at this point too. At the present time, is what do we find that's beautiful about our culture, and all the stuff that we're talking about is a very beautiful thing that we can share with everybody, especially with something that's so ingrained is like life and death, the cycle.
Right? I think what we experience in our life, because I dealt with Catholicism growing up.
Oh yeah,
I was forced Catholicism, going to church and everything. I dealt with everything, but when I look at it, it gave me strength to fight what is evil and what is good.
Yeah,
that's what it gave me most strength.
Yeah, and I carry the Virgen de Guadalupe with me because my mom always, every time she prayed for me, right? I don't necessarily believe in Catholic. When I go, if I go to church and I hear a baby crying in the background, when I hear a baby crying in the background, I think that baby is revolting against what the words are. I'm like, yes, and I'm like, that is not what I believe in.
Sorry.
Yeah. So, but what I mean, like, I don't. Yeah. But what I'm saying is, like, I don't necessarily believe in the whole, but my mom did, and there's a very beautiful part that she believed in, and I take that little beauty. It's like, when you look at the Walter Mercado one, right? He studied Buddhism, he studied Ganesh, he studied all this stuff and brought it all together because that one, there is more paths than one. I think the thing is all roads lead to heaven, right? As Van Zen saying, because you have to find little bits and parts to remake yourself, right? Because we don't know anything about ourselves. We really don't. Right?
But we all deserve peace and to forgive.
Yeah, as everybody does.
And then when I studied Spanish Inquisition, they had the worst torture for everybody that did not believe the way they believe.
Yeah.
But you know what? I forgive it. You have to go on and on. And just I can't explain because sorry.
That's okay. But it is, and it is what it is. So we are going to go for one more piece because you talked about hummingbirds, but I want to show you your hummingbird before we go. So here's,
who's
that? The trumpet vine.
Oh, is that mine? Oh, I love it.
I don't know who that is, but yeah.
I don't know, but I love it.
That's beautiful.
I love the hummingbirds because there's a hummingbird that always comes down in the placita. I had this big inspiration. Okay, I'm going to constantly do hummingbirds. I'll work on the second piece, but it just gave me so much comfort.
Yeah. And Roberta, we have one more of yours too before we go too, and that's
oh my gosh! That's so great.
This is when they're getting ready. They're lighting their candles to get ready for the procession down the street.
I want
Roberta, that's
too.
beautiful. That is beautiful.
Thank you.
I want a print of that.
I know.
Oh, great. Yeah. I'll give you one.
This would look so good in my hall.
Oh, thank you.
This would look good on top of my stairs.
Yeah, because
with a light on it.
Amazing. Yeah.
I got a really beautiful camera, my new camera for this trip, and it does this great work in low light. So I was so happy.
Camera.
A Sony. It was a Sony A7. Now I got the newest Sony, and I'm not really I'm a very minimal photographer, but this was my big prize for myself to get this new camera. And
beautiful.
Thank you.
That's really I love it.
Roberta, I have a friend who has a 3D printer.
You have a friend? I'm so happy for you.
He has a 3D printer. This looks so cool. As like a nightlight.
Yes,
if you put an actual light.
Oh my god!
He could 3D print out this photo.
Oh my god!
As a nightlight, that would be incredible.
Yes. I'm gonna message you.
Yes, please do.
Because I was just thinking of that. I was like, that would look so beautiful because it's already bright, and then if you turn it to a nightlight, oh my god.
Yes, that would be so luminescent. It'd be so
So gorgeous.
Oh, gorgeous! Because you would see the lights,
Yeah.
you'd see the flickering.
It's like, and he does
Yeah.
little ones, and it's all white.
Oh.
You can't really see the picture until you put a light behind it, and then you see it
Oh.
glowing.
Oh,
And
You would
it's
like feel the
like-
warmth.
Yeah.
That would be
So
amazing.
cool. I'll have to
And
show
why
you.
did
Please do.
And your last
Huh?
one, Leela?
What
and
was
why
that?
did you not mention to me before?
Because
Yeah.
the picture glows.
She's holding stuff back.
Oh, you have favorites, right? Okay. Well,
Leela,
favorites anymore.
Seriously, that would be beautiful.
Amazing. Amazing.
I do have a recommendation for Leela. You
What's
need to
that?
bring extra drinks for yourself. Okay, so here's
Okay.
here's
Supply.
Okay,
Like you have to bring the bottle. You
You
have to bring
Yeah.
the bottle.
here, agua fresca, and then we're gonna show Leela's piece right here. Leela, one more for you.
Fresca.
Aw,
Good.
Oh.
that's my Shakira.
Oh my god.
Kara.
Yeah. I love Shakira. I still
Gorgeous.
have this one. I think
Oh.
yeah. That one's one of my favorite ones. It was
She's
one of the
beautiful.
first ones I painted
Beautiful.
too. Thank you.
I thought that was me.
No, you were not wearing
I-
lipstick. Sorry.
I know.
No.
I'm sorry about that. I was supposed to buy black lipstick, but I couldn't do it.
I love the
But-
background, the way you
Yeah.
did that to match the rose like that
Yeah.
too. It's gorgeous.
So
Right.
this is the last one, and this is what happens to me in Oaxaca during probably 4 in the morning.
Uh-oh.
You know, going out
What
taking pictures.
happens?
This right here.
Hold on, let me get my.
As a self-portrait.
That's it. That's me.
Oh, the cigarette there makes it. That's
Yeah.
That's
I want one,
funny.
one last Cuban cigarette because it's legal there.
Prudence,
That's so
wake
great.
up,
Yeah.
Prudence.
Yeah. I'm like, so that's what happens.
I swear, I probably seen that dog out there when I was in the
So yeah. So,
There's so many.
so that's what happens to me.
That's too funny.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna show you something real quick too. So this little guy was yeah, he'll be on the right hand side, but someone he's a street dog. And in Oaxaca now they have like the street dogs are pretty cool because they have like these they made these they save the water so the dog can drink it, and people put dog food in their thing now, so they're not just like going around. So they have like these dog food made out of plastic pipes or something. It's really weird the way they do it. But someone painted this dog, put a mask on him, and this dog. So the Alaka is like, you know, you saw how busy it was there when they're doing the parade there, right? It's always like that. This dog got petted the most I've ever seen a dog ever get petted because he was walking down the street. But he's gonna be on the right hand side. This guy right here.
Oh,
no.
He was getting so much food, and he didn't know why people were loving him.
He got so much love. He got so
Yeah.
much. Yes. Oh,
But I think
His favorite holiday.
yeah, I think someone just really because he's a street dog, right? And
Aww.
but people were petting him and feeding him and taking pictures of him. He had no idea why. I don't think he was
That's so
like.
cute.
But
Look
for
at
one
his
night,
Look at his face.
yeah, for one night she was a star.
Oh,
So-
how cute. That's precious. I
Yeah.
love that story.
So
Every
you know,
life is
yeah.
important. Every single life is important.
yeah.
Yes.
So that was it. So you know, and we'd like to thank everybody for coming out. Thank you guys for coming out. It was fun.
Thank you.
Yeah, volume 2 was
Thank
awesome.
you.
And I know we go for. I
not-
realized we'd go for 2 hours. I was like, oh, an hour.
Let's keep going. No kidding.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
let me
so-
my thesis I did in college. Hold on. No, just kidding.
Yeah, I'm gonna do.
Hey, man.
Yeah.
No, but
So-
honestly, it's a pleasure meeting you, Roberta.
Nice
Leela,
to meet
I know
you.
you. Leela, I know you.
Lila, it was nice to meet you guys too.
John,
Very good.
Good to see you,
you're
John.
amazing.
Love you.
John, my daughter, for Christmas, she gave me a picture that you painted. I should probably grab it.
Yes,
Should I just go grab it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess we're not over yet. But anyway, so
I'll go ahead and take my picture of my self-portrait naked. Hold on.
yeah, there you go. See, that's what it was. It was the
Buff.
John said it was gonna wear the pants tonight, the stripper pants. So at the end of the show, he does like
I had nothing.
hola.
It was college first.
Stripper pants? What I miss?
Yeah. You don't want to know Marachi style. So something like that.
Oh,
Oh, cute. I think I have that one también. Oh no, I have a
Yeah,
different.
I love doing Frida my own. I love doing my own rendition of Frida. That's why I love her because she loves color.
And the butterflies, I love the butterflies too.
Both of
So thank you, John.
Yeah.
It's
And
great.
yeah, so and that's a great note to end on, and remember, everybody take care of themselves. What is the COVID? Wash your hands.
Wear a mask, wash your hands, stay far away. Don't go eating indoors
Yeah.
when they say it's
Drink
okay.
tequila.
Don't go indoors. Only go shopping and get in and out.
Fuck anybody mean. If
Yeah.
you do, spit some glitter on them.
Yeah. And Leela makes masks, so if you need some masks,
I need
Leela makes some
masks.
beautiful.
I need a mask.
Yeah.
I need a
Leela-
mask.
Yeah,
Isn't that
she makes some
pretty?
beautiful masks. What other ones you have there, Leela?
I just got
Yeah.
this fabric again because I ran out.
Oh, I need
So
that.
these are like
Your
limited.
Lady Gaga mask.
I have.
Lady
Oh,
Gaga.
look at Mia. Dia de los Muertos. I found this dog print. Day of the Dead dog print.
That's so passe.
Oh,
Lady
how
Isn't that cute? It's so
It's
cute.
little doggies.
love it.
I
Yes.
have a bunch. Oh, I have more Day of the Dead.
Oh
So
my
these are
god.
probably gonna get more popular too. This
Yes.
one has glitter on it. It's
I
pretty.
think
I was
Sharice.
telling- I was telling
Chris-
Boncho, like,
That's beautiful.
in a bigger house, I want to have two masters. One named Maximilian and Brutus. Brutus was
Ooh.
the first dog I ever had, and
I have.
Maximilian
Bandana.
was the first my sister's dog. Had.
Gangster.
Right now, right. This one matches my dress. It's like
See?
a burgundy red.
You got red
So if
and
you
blue.
need, yeah, if you
Alright.
need
And I have
mask made,
white.
Leela does some pretty cool artistic masks.
I have
So
a bunch of Oh, this one's fun.
But tell us.
Oh, that's cool.
Is that a full face?
And having a full,
How could we get them? How could people order them
You
from you?
message
Just
me.
message you?
all masks are $5, and they're adjustable
Just
straps.
$5?
Yeah.
That's it? $5?
And then they have a little,
Yeah.
little opening on the bottom, so you can put
Yeah.
a filter inside
Yeah.
or whatever you want to put in there.
10.
10.
I've
10.
been selling them for
Seriously.
wait, I make masks too. So mine are
$5.
mine are
Whatever.
$4.50.
Oh,
But I love crows. I love crows.
me
Yeah.
too. Me
Oh,
too.
this one's
Seriously,
like
when I
a.
walk,
This is gold bandana.
oh,
Oh, I need
Yeah.
that. I
only
need gold.
have- I only have 2 different ones left.
oh, that's so sad. Anyways, Roberta. Sorry.
That's the
Sorry.
tequila talking. That's the silver talking.
Yup.
Hold on. Another shot. Another fresh.
I do
Well,
clear
hold
masks
on.
too.
You gotta have a fresh one. No,
Paw
wanna say-
Patrol.
Oh,
wanna
Paw
say-
Patrol. Oh, I need some kid masks too.
I
Okay,
have a
whatever.
bunch of
Okay.
kid masks.
Okay, yes, John.
Oh,
I'm here, John.
salute.
Salute.
Oh, someone asked where can we buy these at?
Oh, you can message me. Just message me on Facebook or Instagram.
Let me see if I have your Facebook. I didn't know if I got that down yet. No, I didn't. Oh wait,
My Instagram is going on the bottom. Oh, there's my Facebook.
so the
That's
Facebook page.
me.
Yeah, so
Just message
And
me.
Leela's at Lila Solorzano Rivera
Yeah.
is Instagram, and Facebook is right there. So you can order them there. They're really good. I have 2 of them.
Beautiful.
And I actually got the special thong edition, so that was an awesome one to get too. The matching mask and thong
Thank you.
edition.
Oh, why was I
They
notified
match.
about this?
Matching is important.
So
Ah, that's super
salute to
sweet.
everybody. Thank you everybody out there for coming to
Salute.
Wait,
Califas.
why was I notified about
Thank
this?
you.
Well, that's a special now.
Salute.
So
Dog's
everybody,
awesome.
thank you for coming out, and I love you guys. Thank you for coming out too, and
Salute.
doing
you,
this
Ruben.
this
Thank
improv.
you. This was
show.
fun.
This was fun.
But we wanted it to be fun. We didn't want it to be like like what is your technique or what is your so
Right.
and there's so much for us to talk about too. Thank you. Finally, I get some respect.
I want to have real crows.
They are.
Oh, you should.
Yeah, me crows had to talk to you about
They,
this.
they were.
Yeah, yeah.
They were.
Dia de los Cuervos. My real name is Cuervo Suave on my show, so that's why.
Whatever. They're gonna be angry.
No, they love me, so I'm like,
When
yeah.
I was 6, it was about the crows. They
Yeah.
will follow me while I'm walking.
I know. I told them, I said, follow
I would
John.
tell them to stop, and they just stop. Like they were talking. They would stop.
Yeah. See, que Dios te bendiga, right?
I've been
And that's-
trying to
that's time
make
for a
friends with
shot.
the crows, but they don't pay attention to me yet. They
So
don't follow me on walks.
You have to say, cálmate.
yeah, no, take a deep breath and
Salud.
yeah.
Salud.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
Salute to everybody. Thank you for
Love
coming
you,
out. And,
Leela. Love you, Ruben. Love
yeah,
you.
love you
Roberta.
too. And thank you for
Thank
coming
you,
out to
John.
Califas Arte y Amor. Thank you to the Latino Center for hosting us.
Wait
And
for it.
everybody. And where's someone wanted Poncho on here, but he's not here. So, but thank you very much for coming out.
You
Everybody.
cannot have help. Seriously.
Someone come help John because he needs a pizza.
Right.
John needs.
Are
a
you
pizza
calling
right
the
now.
spirits,
Te
John?
voy a mandar unos
Yes.
tacos.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah. Los espíritus de tacos.
Los
Wait.
espíritus y tacos.
All right. Everybody have a good night. We'll talk to you soon.
No, okay.
I know it's over. It's done. When you get the spirit of tacos,
Very soon.
yes. Love you guys.